This video is brought to you by Andy Gone Nuts. 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876-586-0471. That's 876-586-0471. This video is brought to you by Starboy's Juices. Infusing fruits with sea moss in Philadelphia and New Jersey. Refreshing and nutritious. Call Starboys at 1-267-904-3454. That's 1-267-904-3454.
Hi, my name's Lee Williamson. Subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary.
Hi, my name is Joby McAnuff. Subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary.
I'm Javon Watson, and you're watching Reggae Boys Commentary.
Skin clean and nice and ting and ting. I'm Tiffany Cannon, Reggae Girl Striker, and you are watching the Reggae Boys Commentary. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Hello everybody, how's everybody doing? My name is Simon Preston and welcome back to Reggae Boys Commentary. This is the channel where we come together to discuss everything in relation to Jamaican football. This is your hub for everything Jamaican football related. So without further ado, folks, let's talk a little bit in relation to Trinidad and Tobago and the squad that they've called up to face Jamaica. Their squad has been revealed. They've been in camp the past couple of days, but it has to be mentioned to you all that in relation to Trinidad and Tobago, they didn't train for 1 week. They didn't train for 1 week due to the fact for Carnival. And as you know, Carnival is treated like a religion in Trinidad and Tobago. That is how Trinidad views Carnival. And as you know, leading up to the period of Carnival, it's like a new band gets introduced every single week. And we saw a lot of Jamaicans involved in Carnival, didn't we? DJ, ZJ, Matt Camps, we saw him being involved as well. So it's good to see that we have some Jamaicans that were involved and portrayed their stuff, because Trinidad and Tobago is an absolute hub when it comes to Carnival. They treat it like it is, the best thing on the planet, and we know Jamaicans that have gone there and done well. For example, Byron Lee. Well, remember Byron Lee and the Dragon Layers, don't we? Byron Lee, born in Jamaica, Byron Aloysius and Elma Lee, Jamaican musician, record producer, entrepreneur. We know his work with Byron Lee and the Dragonaires, right? As we know the work that he did with Jamaican ska, calypso, and soca. Did a fantastic job during his time when he was around before passing in 2008. So let's get back to the football, shall we? Now, in relation to Trinidad and Tobago, I'm going to read out for you the squad that Trinidad and Tobago has called up for this game to face Jamaica. Now, this is a squad that Trinidad and Tobago has called up. Marvin Phillip, Adrian Fonseth, Denzel Smith, Alvin Jones. Now, you all know Alvin Jones quite well, because Alvin Jones is an individual that has played football overseas. An international, a 28-year-old Trinidadian right back who has played at OKC Energy in the USL, Real Salt Lake in the MLS, Real Monarchs, and Forward Madison in the United Soccer League. The list continues with Kareem Riley, Josiah Trimingham, Andre Raymond, who plays for Domiense in Portugal, Justin Garcia, Jamil Neptune, Jelani Felix, Matthew Wooling, former Trinidad and Tobago under-17 and under-20 player, Noah Powder, Jesse Williams, Kyle Overy. So Kyle Overy is the son of Stefan Overy. As you all know, Stefan Overy played for Guadeloupe at the Gold Cup in 2007 and 2009, and also 2011 as well. He played for Sporting Kansas City and also the New York Red Bulls as well. He's also the head coach of St. Martin right now. So his son could have played for Guadeloupe, St. Martin, France, or Trinidad and Tobago, which is where his mom is from, and has decided to declare for Trinidad and Tobago. And I'll talk a little bit about him as to why he should be looked upon for this game. Jamal Williams, Justin Sado, Michael Poon Angren, Jovin Jones. We all know Jovin Jones, don't we, from his time playing with Seattle Sounders in Major League Soccer. Rian Moore, John Paul Rochford, Jamal Francis, Kwesi Weston, Nathaniel James, the Speedy Man, and Kadeem Corbin. Those are the 24 players that Trinidad and Tobago have selected to face Jamaica in the upcoming games coming up on March 11 and 14. The Trinidad and Tobago team will depart from Piarco International Airport in Port of Spain, Trinidad, on Wednesday and arrive at the Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston. So they will have essentially 2 to 3 training sessions prior to their first game against Jamaica. Jamaica, they are also preparing quite well in anticipation of these upcoming games as well on the 11th and also on the 14th as well. Some key players to look out for from the Trinidadian standpoint. Well, for me, if there's one player that I would say he's the man, it would have to be 18-year-old Ovray. And this is because of the time that he spent over in the Lille Academy in France. He demonstrated great ability. And for me, personally, I think he could have gone on to represent France at the under-20 level. That's how I feel about this game in particular, that Ovray could have represented France at the under-20 level, but he's always in Trinidad because this is where his mom's side of the family lives, and this is where his mom still lives to this very day. And culturally, he grew up as a Trini. So I don't want to say he doesn't feel close to his French heritage. However, he felt closer with his Trinidadian heritage, and his father even hinted it in an interview when Trinidad and Tobago took on St. Martin quite recently in a friendly international earlier this calendar year. So he's going to be the one to look out for from the Trinidadian standpoint. There are others, but we will look at them as we progress further on in these videos and look ahead more to those upcoming games. What I'm going to do for you guys is play an interview from Angus Eve. We know Angus Eve is one of the most capped player in the Soca Warriors history, as he speaks about the preparation leading into the Jamaica games and gives his expectations on things. So have a listen to Angus Eve as he speaks about these upcoming games in particular. All right. But first, you're going to hear the voice of Sean Fuentes, who is the media officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association. And then you will hear the voice of Angus Eve, the head coach of Trinidad and Tobago.
And Kingston with me, head coach of our men's team, Angus Eve. But before I pass over to Angus, allow me to reveal the 24-man squad that he has selected for these 2 games. We start with the goalkeepers, Marvin Phillip, Adrian Fonset, and Denzel Smith. The defenders are Alvin Jones, Kareem Riley, Josiah Trimmingham, Andre Raymond, Justin Garcia, Jamil Neptune, and Jelani Felix. The midfielders are Matthew Wooling, Noah Powder, Jesse Williams, Kyle Ovray, Jamal Williams, Dustin Sadu, Michelle Poon Angeron, Jovin Jones, Rian Moore, and John Paul Rushford. And the 4 attacking players, the 4 attackers are Jamal Francois, Kwesi Weston, Nathaniel James, and Kadeem Corbin. Obviously, our head coach is Angus Eve, and you have his backroom staff that will depart with the team leaving these shores on Wednesday for Kingston. And I'll pass over to Angus to give a few opening comments, and then we open the floor to questions.
Right, so head coach of the Trinidad and Tobago team, Angus Eve, he's going to give his few comments in relation to the squad, and then you guys will hear what he has to say in relation to Jamaica.
And also to give the locally based players the opportunity to address the selectors, as you call it, for these 2 most important games that we have in March 24th and 27th. And pretty much the guys have been working really well, really enthusiastic, and we're really looking forward to the 2 matches that we have in Jamaica to see how they would cope with the pressures playing in a climate like that.
I'm just looking at the newcomers on the squad. There's a guy from St. Martin, Ovray. Tell me a bit about him.
Aubrey's been on the radar for us from since the under-20s, when we did the under-20s, when we went to Honduras. Unfortunately for him, at that time, he didn't have a passport, and it was too tight when we had scouted him to get him with the passport. So what we did is we brought him in over the holiday last year, the Christmas period, because he's always in Trinidad apparently. So we brought him in and he trained with the group. And then his dad is actually the coach of St. Martin national team. So the dad asked if he could play with them, and we said yes, so that we could have seen him again, because he couldn't stay for a long time when he came in December, because he was changing clubs at that time. So that's the background. We had him on our radar for a while. Unfortunately, we didn't get him in time for the under-20s, but now we have him going forward. He's just 18 years old and a real prospect, as I think everybody saw.
No, Levi Castle is what is injured. How big of a loss is Levi having Levi?
Levi is not in the squad. You know, this squad is a locally based squad, one. So when we still assessing, the doctors are still assessing. We are liaising with their doctors. It's normally for an injury like that, it's 3 to 4 weeks. So we don't want to pronounce that Levi would not be in the squad just yet, because it's a day-to-day situation.
So, one player that could also make the trip to Jamaica is none other than Levi Garcia. Now, you guys know Levi Garcia extremely well, especially those Eredivisie fans. Yep, you guys would have seen him from his time 2015 to 2018 when he plays at AZ Alkmaar, and you would have seen him during his time at Excelsior, and quite recently from his time in Greece. Pleasant young man, supremely talented. I think he's just hasn't quite reached his full potential as a player. But certainly, if he's involved, then he would be another threat for the Trinidad and Tobago team. Let's continue.
Further questions?
No, I have a problem. And some of the guys in the team understand. You know, they've been there and thereabouts, but not getting much playing time. Laying and a couple others. How excited you for some of the younger guys to, you know,
Well, unfortunately, we don't have a Caribbean Shell Cup anymore. And every single time you play a game in the windows now, the FIFA windows, you realize this game is outside of a FIFA window. So every time we play in a window, it's actually a competition. It's not a place that you want to experiment and overly try players. So these opportunities are valuable for those guys, invaluable. Matthew was with us when we went to when we played Bolivia. He was with the squad there. Unfortunately, the climate wasn't right, and it was unfortunate for him and the other players. So this is another opportunity for him to get and other players. We have Nathaniel James, who is just 18 years old also, is in the squad, and Nathaniel scored the most for us in the under-20 tournament. So this is a step up for him, and there would probably be a couple more. Unfortunate that we don't have them here right now.
Last question. What would you consider the store of success in terms of result-wise?
Well, for the guys, Jamaica is ranked, more than a half century up on us. So I think they have league football going on. We don't. It's going to start. So these guys are at a disadvantage from that standpoint, from a playing standpoint. So if we can be competitive and put in good results and see the players doing the things that we ask them to do, for me, those things, because in a practice match, you're really looking to see which players can come out of that game and fit into the full squad when the full squad is selected. And I said those things will be success based for me, because our job here is not to win practice matches, but to qualify for the Gold Cup proper.
Final question. Local football starts on Friday. Happy to see that.
Extremely excited for it, to be honest, because we've been doing club work here for the last 4 months, I would say. So it's good now for the players to go with the coaches, go with the teams, the respective
Chris, stop, Chris.
teams, and have the opportunity to go in the stands and watch them from a vantage point and see who can go forward. But we need to do more exercises like the one that we're going to do in Jamaica, the one that we do in St. Martin, where we had the locally based players in a semi-camp environment and get more exposure for them playing against top-level opponents.
Anders, you could just touch on also the recall of Jamal Williams. Finally, he's getting a chance to be back in national team.
Actually, we called Jamal since back in the Gold Cup. Unfortunately, he had some passport issues at that time. Then he had some visa issues. So we've been trying to get him. He was injured when we had the classic, the Courts Classic. So all those times we wanted him in, but unfortunately, so now is a perfect opportunity to get to see him. I think it's 2 good games for him to come and really show himself. And one thing is that we're going to try to expose all of these players in those matches.
There's a young player who's based in Portugal and has been included in the squad, Andre Raymond. Tell us about him.
Well, Andre, I know Andre for a long time actually. I coached him at Naparima College. He was a winger then, and I told the dad at that point in time, I think that he would be a national left back. And he's been out there for about 6 years or so now. He's been in the system over there, and Andre's come back and he's with the team because that's an area that we're looking to strengthen, and so it's really good to have him in the squad, and he's playing really good so far.
Significance of these 2 friendlies. We know the Trinidad and Tobago to make a rivalry. Yourself, Derek King, Clayton, and Cyril Carrington, you've been part of that as players. We have a few players in the squad as well. But talk about these 2 matches in particular. How have you been echoing these sentiments to your players?
Well, I mean, it's important I said from the beginning when I got the job that we need to reestablish ourselves in the Caribbean. So this will go some ways to assess their local based group against our local based group. I also heard that they're bringing in some players like Mariapa and these guys. So they probably will have some foreign-based guys in the mix who are free at the point in time, but it still will be a good yardstick to us to see where we are, because people think Jamaica has left us from a standpoint of development. I think that they're developing a national senior team because they tend to bring in a lot of players. Even when they qualified for the World Cup in 1998, you saw that the majority of the players were English-based, and they have that benefit that we don't have, to bring players who have grandparents at the senior level, because I know people get misinterpreted when I say that we can't bring in grandparents. We can bring them in, but they have to be under 19 players. But at the senior level, we're not having that affordability.
Any further questions? Coach Chancellor?
That was the head coach of the Trinidad and Tobago national team, Angus Eve, speaking about the composition of the squad, how he feels going into the games, knowing that Jamaica is a stern test. Let's hear what some players have to say as well, heading into these 2 fixtures as well. Let's hear their mindset as well. But first, take a couple of comments. Yeah, Chris, look, we want Jamaica to win. For me, I've always maintained, and I will never stray from the point, that in relation to friendly internationals, performance for me is a priority. But especially in these games, I want the 2 victories. I want the 2 wins. And I'm sure every single one of you guys will definitely want to be there as well, The reality is, wicked man, Chris, the Caribbean community in the UK, Jamaicans, Bajans, Guyanese, not saying that there's no Trinis in England, but they don't have much Trinis in England like Jamaica. Out of all the Caribbean nations, Jamaica has the largest diaspora in the UK. Of course, you have Vincentians, you have Kititians, you have Dominicans, you have St. Lucians. However, Trinidad don't even have half as the diaspora players that Jamaica has within the United Kingdom, men or women. They do have those sorts of individuals in Canada and also the United States. They do. But let's hear what 2 senior players have to say leading into these games. Jovin Jones and, of course, Hackshaw. What do they have to say?
Big Jamaica rivalry, you know what it is like. How much are you looking
This is Alvin Jones.
forward to these 2 matches?
Well, me personally, it's always an honor to play for Trinidad and Tobago, and definitely played against Jamaica. We all know it's a personal rivalry. Well, me personally, I play once against them. I know growing up, it's always a battle for the CONCACAF spot. We at Jamaica, and definitely like playing in that game. You know, the spirit, the atmosphere, it is be a fight. It's very important, especially for players like me who haven't get a club as yet. You know, to keep active and playing games at a high level. So it's a very, very important for even the local based players and also.
All right. What do you make of the current bunch? We have some experienced players in this mix, but also some newcomers. How you see it?
Well, for me personally, I see it good. You know, we have some experience in between and some newcomers. You know, the newcomers are always sprightly and willing to learn and they want to be here. You know, so it's excited just for us to get going. March 27th, Dwight York Stadium. See you there.
We have Naval action. Naval, you know, you're an integral part of the Trinidad and Tobago team now. We're in the midst of preparations for the Nations League qualifiers. 2 games against Jamaica. How important is this for the preparation?
I mean, we're going to play Jamaica, but we're prepping for Nicaragua and Bahamas. So I think it's pretty good because we haven't played a team from outside in a long while. So I think these 2 games coming up here is pretty good for us.
What do you make about the current bunch? Some experienced players in this local mix, some newcomers, and then of course the majority of the squad to assemble for Nations League. But what do you make about the current bunch?
They're good. Everyone is up for the fight, up for what the coach has for us to do against the team. So I think it will be pretty good for us.
You personally, you've just secured a new deal. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I recently signed for Oakland Roots. I think there's a good place for me, so I'm excited.
Bahamas and Nicaragua is 2 must-win games for us. How important is it for us as a country to get everything right for these 2 matches?
It's pretty important. We can't slip up at any point in time in the game, or even before in the preparation. We have to be sharp. We have to be willing to do the right things, and it's pretty important that we go there and get the 6 points to go in the Group A. March 27th, Dwight York Stadium. See you there.
That was Hackenshaw and Jones. What about JP Rochford? JP Rochford also looked forward to the game as well against Jamaica. That's John Paul Rochford. What did he have to say?
John Paul Rochford. John Paul, 2 big games against Jamaica coming up. Prep for CONCACAF Nations League. How do you see things?
I see it as good measures, leading towards the Nations League. 2 games against Jamaica will prepare as well. The game will be extremely physical, fast paced, especially seeing that there's a rivalry in the Caribbean, you know, as they call it, it's called the Caribbean. So I see the 2 games as very important games leading towards our Nations League games against Bahamas and Nicaragua.
Generally, what's the mood like in the camp? More home-based team, a few experienced players who've been outside as well. How are you enjoying that mix?
The vibes is nice. The mood in the camp is nice. You know, as I said, some players from home, you know, so the chemistry is good. The guys didn't play each other a while. So the vibes is nice in the camp. You know, working on getting fit match fitness towards the games. But other than that, the emotions, vibes, energy in the camp it's good.
In terms of the importance of the Jamaica Trinidad and Tobago rivalry, what do you know of it and how anxious are you to be part of this now?
Well, I've heard multiple people talk about seeing it growing up, you know, seeing Jamaica games. You know, food, as I said, it's the classic of the Caribbean. So being a part of it now, you know, being able to take part in it and something to the game it's a pleasure. It's honor to be able to, you know, partake in it.
When you look at the fact that domestic football is back on the horizon for Trinidad and Tobago, how will this help players like yourself, other home-based players, to be active and just tell us about the fact that football returned to Trinidad and Tobago? How it's going to help us?
Well, it's amazing. I see it as a stepping stone for football, especially Trinidad and Caribbean and worldwide for players at home, because they get a base foundation to start with. That's going to benefit the national team as well, because players at home, the local these players, they'll be getting minutes, plenty of minutes, you know, so they have a lot of match fitness. So coming into the international windows, the national week, when they join with the foreign base players, you know, the fitness will be the so we'll be able to train at a higher intensity and hit better for the games that come up, maybe Nations League, World Cup, stuff like that.
Looking ahead to Bahamas and Nicaragua, you know what these teams have to offer. But everything is in our hands right now. How important is it for us to stay focused and continue doing the right things to make sure we get these results?
No, it's extremely important. Extremely important because those games, it's a big decider in how we go forward, especially being in the group stage for the World Cup. So those 2 games are like from those 2 finals we have to play for Bahamas at first and then Nicaragua. So we just need to stay focused, stay fit, stay active, and stay ready because it may seem far away, but it's right there. It's very, very close. So these 2 games against Jamaica as in the 2 games of preparation towards the Bahamas and Nicaragua. And once we reach that stage, once we reach that bridge, give it our best shot, 100% all out to be able to go past that stage.
That was JP Rochford. Let's listen ahead to Angus Eve about Jamaica specifically and how he's looking forward to these games in particular. Angus Eve, the head coach of Trinidad and Tobago.
So, we want to go over there and try to overturn that. I think the Jamaican team, they're on a different high than us right now. They've been getting sponsorship, they've been getting players, international players from all over. We're building from the ground up. So we're in 2 different places, but we're going to go out there and give ourselves a best chance. We don't have a league going on, they have a league going on, so it kind of stuck in their favor, but we're definitely going to put our best foot forward.
Obviously, the bigger picture is your 2 nations, they qualifies later in the month. How does this serve your preparation?
Well, this falls right into our preparation because given the locally based players and some young players the opportunity to have an opportunity to be selected in the squad, it's good that now we're having a league. It was a start just a little bit late for them for this. So we thought that we would put a stopgap in place along with the normalization committee, who has been excellent for us to organize these matches and organize this opportunity for the locally based players to have some semblance of a better opportunity to make the team in March, which, as you rightly said, is going to hold us in good stead for World Cup qualifying also, because the more higher that we can finish, is a better group that we've been placed in those World Cup qualifyings.
You want to tell us a bit about your program leading up to these 2 games against Jamaica and also Nations League in terms of your semblance of local players?
Yeah, we started in November, where we had the guys for 2 days a week just doing some maintenance work initially. And then when we started in January, we got a game against St. Martin, very decent outfit, so to get the guys a bit of match practice. From that, we went on break for the carnival, Trinidadians, and we really brought them back in for a couple of days every week, 2 days. We negotiated with the clubs. Some of the clubs, they didn't let the players off, but that's their prerogative in the sense of it's not an international window, so we don't have all the players that we want here, but all the players that we have here, we're going to put our best foot forward for our country. So when we go to Jamaica, we play 2 games, one on the 11th and one on the 14th, and we come back on the 15th. The guys who will be selected, along with the foreign-based players who we have been monitoring on all of our systems, and visibly looking at them, we would then select the final 23-man squad to play in the 2 matches.
Perfect. That's good.
Yeah.
And of course, not 23, but 24 have been selected. And the possibility exists that Levi Garcia could travel with the team, depending on what the doctor's report says on Tuesday. Personally, I think it is a risk taking him. And based on what I'm hearing, it's a slim chance that he'll make the plane to Jamaica. That's Levi Garcia specifically, formerly of Azad Alkmaar. So that is what is being done at this point in time. So work is being done. The Trinidad and Tobago outfit have been training. Like I said, they took off 1 week from training because of Carnival. And heading back into training, there was a little bit of a teething phase. However, they're able to get in Sunday and Monday's training session. They will train tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday fly out early to Jamaica. So that is what is happening right now. So the build-up continues. And I mentioned Kyle Overy within the squad. What did his father, Stephen Overy, say? Because Kyle Overy could have played for France, under 20s, could have played for Guadeloupe, St. Martin, or Trinidad and Tobago, his mother's country. So what did he have to say there? What was said there? Well, I'll let you guys know what was said there. So that's the situation there.
Against a good enough team to see that they were successful, young players, and they're coming strong and we have Mr. Damat, who is age 40. Give us some of his performance, give us some of his player knows you can tell he played Champions League, definitely.
Yeah.
And he's big help for us.
Stephen Overy,
It doesn't matter what age.
head coach of St. Martin,
So far,
former Guadeloupe.
plays. The only problem is that he's
Former Guadeloupe. So, yeah.
Are we all good? Yes. All right, coach. Thank you very much. And obviously they have players. They knew they had passed, so we're gonna have to hope that we. And I didn't work on anything about. So
One more.
Just try to win that game and see what happens.
Where is this game? What exactly is there that you lost?
An extra 10 minutes. Chance for the Trinidad head coach 20 years. So every Christmas, and Trinidad became.
So, just a moment, you'll hear from Stephen Overy about his son. Kyle Overy. Just one moment. And then I'll take the comments in the chat, all right? So,
I think we were
just one moment.
Once we made the sub at halftime, and then after the next sub, kind of dropped, and Trinidad became much better than us, and they were rewarded, especially with the second goal. I think
Listen to what Stephen Overy had to say about his son, Kyle.
Good because we show that we have a strong starting 11, and we worked on a lot of things on the build up.
So,
I saw it tonight. Now we have to work on how to score goals.
Coach, before we take questions, maybe you can tell us a bit about your background because we understand you have a link obviously with Trinidad and Tobago and there's something. Tell us about it.
Yes, so my wife is from Trinidad and Tobago, and we've been together for 20 years. So every Christmas is Trinidad Christmas, right? And many other times as well. So I have a daughter and a son, and they're very close to their Trinidad roots.
Tell us about the son. Tell us about the son. Tell the person about the son.
Well, my son is 18-year-old, and he was born in France, but his mom is from Trinidad. So obviously he got to train actually with the same team we played tonight. He trained with them during Christmas. So it was also a good chance for the Trinidad head coach to see him play and, just see where he's at.
All right. Questions for coach? When you say train, he trained with Trinidad and Tobago?
Yes, he did. He was on the pitch tonight.
Yeah, no. All right, coach. They mentioned his substitutes was.
Yep, so that's a little bit about Kyle Overy. Just a little information there about him in particular. So, yeah. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's where we are. How do you guys feel about that? Hearing from the head coach, 2 players leading into Jamaica, their thoughts, your thoughts as well about the games. Trinity Lewis, hope you're doing well. Joyful. Jamaica's going to win these 2 games, my friend. What is the preparation like for Jamaica? Jamaica has been in camp, and the squad will be announced. The squad will be announced quite soon. So just be patient. All Blacks with patience, and the squad will be announced. Don't be anxious. Don't be filled with anxiety. The squad will be announced. So all in due time. All right, guys? Everything will fall into place in time. Trust me. Loud Music Entertainment. How are you, sir? All is well with you. What's going on? Which clown are you referring to? It's funny, because Dr. Joyful was a big fan a couple of years ago. I don't know what has changed, but Dr. Joyful, I know you're a Jamaican. I know you're born in this country. Everybody needs to be singing from the same hymn sheet, all right? Everybody needs to be singing from the same hymn sheet. All right, boss? Make sure you're aware, fully aware of that. Very soon, to just have a little bit of patience. So if not today, then all being well, we'll have an update later in the week. Okay? No. And Dr. Joyful is a Jamaican. It'll be announced before that, Jason. Yeah, the squad will be announced before that. Dual citizenship with which country? Because during the Under 20 Championship, we heard a lot about Guatemala. Did you marry a Guatemalan lady or a Trini lady? Which one of the two? Yeah, which one of the two? I got to know a Trini. It was very close. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Any overseas coming for us for these matches? You'll see very soon, my friend. Very, very soon. You'll see. Give it a little bit of time. And you'll see. You'll see. Give it a little bit of time. It will all fall into place. All right? It will all come. Oh, by the way, we send big ups to Ethan Rupert Pinnock as Brentford today pulled out a big win, a 3-2 win over Fulham. And with that win, Brentford goes up to 9th. Fulham stays 7th. That's where things are right now. EPL action picks up on the weekend. Europa League, Champions League, that will take the center stage over the next few days. Europa League round of 16, the first leg, Thursday. Manchester United against Real Betis. And we will also have United. West Ham United playing in the UEFA Europa Conference League, the round of 16, as they play AEK Larnaca in Greece. So, Mikel Antonio is going to be playing in France. And then, of course, he'll welcome Leon Bailey on the 12th. And after that, it's basically crunch time, if it isn't crunch time right now within the league. With the home games against Southampton, Newcastle, away to Fulham, home to Arsenal, away to Bournemouth, home to Liverpool, away to Crystal Palace, home to Manchester United, away to Brentford, home to Leeds, and away to Leicester. All of those games for the rest of the season could have serious implications on how West Ham United finish the season. They're 16th, 23 points, just a point above of the relegation zone. Leeds also have 22 points, Everton 22 points. Honestly, I'd be extremely sad if Everton gets relegated. The fourth most successful club in English football, it'd be an absolute crime to see them relegated. But we digress and we go back on point. Don't worry, everything will fall. Dual citizenship in particular. But if you're born in Jamaica, they can't take that away from you, you know? Bless up, Simon. Hopefully you're doing good. What dual nationals did Trinidad call up? Dual nationals? No. They called up players who ply the trade in the USL and Portugal's third and fourth tier, but not dual nationals. Trinidad doesn't have a lot of dual nationals. If you think about the English-born players that have played for them, it's not a whole lot of them. You think about the Chris Birchells of this world, right? You think about, all right, Shaka Hislop. He's another one in particular. I'm still quite amused as to why our good friend that used to be at Tottenham Hotspur hasn't played for them. That's John Bostock. To this day, John Bostock has not played for them. Bobby Zamora could have played for Trinidad and Tobago. In fact, Bobby Zamora has a Trinidad and Tobago passport. Leo Bin Hako spoke with Alan Pardew. Zamora turned down the chance of playing in the 2006 World Cup with Trinidad, saying that Trinidad is my dad's country and to play in the finals will be a dream, but West Ham are more important. 2009, Zamora K and J. Lloyd Samuel had received their Trinidadian passports and would play in the qualifiers. However, Zamora did not get his first cap due to an injury that he picked up in training. Right? However, here comes England, and England called up Bobby Zamora. So Bobby Zamora ended up playing for England. J. Lloyd Samuel was already born in Trinidad. J. Lloyd Samuel was not born in England, so That's the situation there with him. But Jaylight Samuel had a decent career. Aston Villa, Bolton Wanderers when Ricardo Baby Gardner was there. Can't believe it's 5 years now. He's dead 5 years now. Jaylight Samuel. I remember when he was in the England under 21s and he played a handful of games. Yeah. I remember when he was playing for Senrab in London, born in San Fernando, but grew up in London when he was 6, 7 years old. And to get a chance for England. Proud of him. Proud of him to get the opportunity. I was a player manager at Edgerton as well. Kaleem Highland deserves a captaincy. For me, I think he should have gotten an opportunity in England. He was at Portsmouth, but the playing time just didn't come. He did win a Belgian Cup at Genk, so we'll give him the plaudits there from that matter in particular. So I'm roasted over it myself. Trinidad really wants to qualify for the Gold Cup. Of course. And Trinidad and Tobago have a grand opportunity to do so. They play Bahamas and they play Nicaragua. So games against Jamaica serves as quality preparation, as Coach Angus Eve said. Let's recap what Angus Eve said for those of you that are just tuning in. Welcome. Let's go back to what the head coach of Trinidad and Tobago, Angus Eve, said in leading into these games in particular.
To address the selectors, as they call it, for these two most important games that we have in March 24th and 27th. And pretty much the guys have been working really well, really enthusiastic, and we're really looking forward to the two matches that we have in Jamaica to see how they would cope with the pressures playing in a climate like that.
I'm just looking at the newcomers on the squad. There's a guy from St. Martin,
Aubrey's been on the radar for us since the under-20s, where we did the under-20s, where we went to Honduras. Unfortunately for him, at that time, he didn't have a passport, and it was too tight when we had scouted him to get him with the passport. So what we did is we brought him in over the holiday last year, the Christmas period, because he's always in Trinidad apparently. So we brought him in and he trained with the group. And then his dad is actually the coach of St. Martin national team. So the dad asked if he could play with them. And we said yes, so that we could have seen him again, because he couldn't stay for a long time when he came in December because he was changing clubs at that time. So that's the background. We had him on our radar for a while. Unfortunately, we didn't get him in time for the under-20s, but now we have him going forward. He's just 18 years old and I'm pleased because I think everybody saw him.
All Levi Castle is what? How big of a loss is Levi?
Levi is not in the squad. This squad is a locally based squad, one. So when we still assessing, the doctors are still assessing. We are liaising with their doctors. It's normally for an injury like that, it's 3 to 4 weeks. So we don't want to pronounce that Levi would not be in the squad just yet because it's a day-to-day situation.
Further questions?
No, I have a problem. And some of the guys in the team understand. They've been there and thereabouts, but not getting much playing time. Playing and a couple others. How excited you for some of the other guys to,
Well, unfortunately, we don't have.
So to answer this question here, the young player, no. Kyle Overy is no longer in Lille's academy. He's now in Sporting Kansas City's academy. Sporting Kansas City. That's the academy that he's at right now. So he's no longer at Lille. He's at Sporting Kansas City's academy right now. So he's no longer in France. He was born in France. To a father from Guadeloupe and a mother from Trinidad. However, he could have also represented St. Martin because his father also spent some time in St. Martin as well. Could he have been part of France's under-20 team? Yes. However, he is extremely close to his Trini heritage and he feels an opportunity with Trinidad moving forward. Because as you guys know, with Guadeloupe, with Martinique, with St. Martin, with Guadeloupe, Martinique, French Guiana, they're not FIFA members, so they won't be involved in World Cup qualifying. So Trinidad and Tobago serves as best chance of playing not only regular games, but perhaps a chance at a World Cup as well. Let's listen on.
Well, unfortunately, we don't have a Caribbean Shell Cup anymore. And every single time you play a game in the windows now, the FIFA windows, they realize this game is outside of a FIFA window. So every time we play in a window, it's actually a competition. It's not a place that you want to experiment and overly try players. So these opportunities that we get outside of these windows is valuable for those guys. It's valuable. Matthew was with us when we went to where we played Bolivia. He was with the squad there. Unfortunately, the climate wasn't right, and it was unfortunate for him and the other players. So this is another opportunity for him together and other players. We have Nathaniel James, who is just 18 years old also, is in the squad, and Nathaniel scored the most for us in the under-20 tournament. So this is a step up for him, and there would probably be a couple more unfortunate that we don't have them here right now.
Last question, what would you consider your store a success?
Guys, Jamaica is ranked, more than a half century up on us. So I think they have league football going on. We don't. It's going to start. So these guys are at a disadvantage from that standpoint, from a playing standpoint. So, but if we can be competitive and put in good results and see the players doing the things that we ask them to do, for me, that those things, because in a practice match, you're really looking to see which players can come out of that game and fit into the full squad when the full squad is selected. And I said those things would be success based for me, because our job here is not to win practice matches, but to qualify for the Gold Cup proper.
Final question. The local football starts on Friday.
Extremely excited for it, to be honest, because we've been doing club work here for the last 4 months, I would say. So it's good now for the players to go with the coaches, go with the teams, the respective teams, and have the opportunity to go in stands and watch them from a vantage point and see who can go forward. But we need to do more exercises like the one that we're going to do in Jamaica, the one that we do in St. Martin, where we had the locally based players in a semi-camp environment and get more exposure for them playing against top level opponents.
Angus, I could just touch on us the recall of Jamal Williams. Finally, he's getting a chance to be back in the national team.
Actually, we called Jamal since back in the Gold Cup. Unfortunately, he had some passport issues at that time. Then he had some visa issues. So we've been trying to get him. He was injured when we had the classic, the Courts Classic. So all those times we wanted him in, but unfortunately, so now it's a perfect opportunity to get to see him. I think it's 2 good games for him to come and really show himself. And one thing is that we're going to try to expose all of these players in those matches.
There's a young player who's based in Portugal and is included in the squad, Andre. Tell us about him.
Well, Andre, I know Andre for a long time actually. I coached him at Naparima College. He was a winger then, and I told the dad at that point in time, I think that he would be a national left back. And he's been out there for about 6 years or so now. He's been in the system over there, and Andre's come back and he's with the team because that's an area that we're looking to strengthen. And so it's really good to have him in the squad, and he's playing really good so far.
The significance of these 2 friendlies, we know the Trinidad and Tobago Jamaica rivalry. Yourself, Derek King, Clayton, Ince, and Carrington, they've been part of that as players. We have a few players in the squad as well. But talk about these 2 matches in particular. How have you been echoing these sentiments to your players?
Well, I mean, it's important I said from the beginning when I got the job that we need to reestablish ourselves in the Caribbean. So this will go some ways to assess their local-based group against our local-based group. I also heard that they're bringing in some players like Mariapa and these guys. So they probably will have some foreign-based guys in the mix who are free at the point in time. But it still will be a good yardstick to us to see where we are, because, people think Jamaica has left us from a standpoint of development. I think that they're developing a national senior team because they tend to bring in a lot of players. Even when they qualified for the World Cup in 1998, you saw that the majority of the players were English-based, and they have that benefit that we don't have, to bring players who have grandparents at the senior level, because I know people get misinterpret when I say that we can't bring in grandparents. We can't bring them in, but they have to be under 19 players. But at the senior level, we're not having that affordability.
Any further questions for Coach Chancellor?
That's Angus Eve, the head coach of Trinidad and Tobago's senior national team. I saw the comments in relation to the Shell Cup, the Caribbean Cup, and this was something that Coach Angus Eve spoke about on numerous occasions as well. Now, with that being said, let me make this point clear. I had a conversation with Randolph Harris, the president of the Caribbean Football Union, and he was making the point to me that in relation to the Caribbean Cup, for it to ever be reintroduced, we're going to need regional sponsors. He understands with the dynamic of the CONCACAF Nations League that the FIFA windows are all used up. So it is hardly likely in the foreseeable future that we'll see a Caribbean Cup, 1, and 2, in a FIFA window. You all saw the conversation that I had with Victor Montagliani. He spoke about the Caribbean Cup, with it essentially being dissolved. So, with that being said now, Randy Harris said that if we're going to have a Caribbean Cup, 1, we need sponsors. 2, it would have to be in a non-FIFA window, which I'm sure everybody in the region would say, okay, because that gives our domestic-based players to play international football. And let's say it is December or it is a January. Players that apply their trade in MLS, Scandinavia, Asia, could participate in these tournaments. So it's not going to be all players that from overseas that will be unavailable, but players in North America, players in Asia, and players in the Nordic countries as well would be available for these competitions as well. But first, sponsorship. And once that can be accomplished, then we can have a conversation long-term about the Caribbean Cup. But right now, it's not foreseeable. It's not in the foreseeable future. That's the Caribbean Cup. What else are you guys seeing in the comments? Just talking about Curacao and Suriname. A lot of conversations about them. Quite a bit about Curacao and Suriname, what they've been doing. Andrew, take it with a grain of salt. He's talking about the injection of the players that apply their trade overseas. So of Jamaica's 21 or 22 player squad that went to the World Cup, 7 were UK based. So that's 1/3 of the squad, right? So don't say it's crap. Say that, perhaps a bit, didn't do the research properly. Maybe he was talking specifically in relation to the injection to the squad, specifically. So Caribbean Cup, what purpose does it serve? It's just a contest of Jamaica and Trinidad battle it out. No, not really. You could say Haiti. They have 1 title. Cuba, they have 1 title. Martinique, they also have 1 title. Curacao, they have 1 title, and they're the defending champions. Are we really going to make Curacao be the defending champions of the Caribbean Cup for life? No, man, that have to change. No, man, we can't make them. They're 6 years Caribbean Cup champions now, My word. That's the longest run. 6-time Caribbean Cup winners. My word. Yeah. The squad for the Mexico games will be announced after the Trinidad and Tobago games. That's when the squad for the Mexico game will be released. All right. Bad guys. Simon, big up Kingston Academy players. A lift up. Yes, absolutely. I am extremely proud of the work being done by Eric Rademacher's, Nathan Geddes Morrison, his sons Jude and Noah, Stefan Hausen. Some absolutely fantastic work is being put into that academy. And I'm really glad and I'm looking forward to what lies ahead within Holland, taking on a couple of teams from the Eredivisie. I'm truly, truly excited about what the future holds. And I'm hoping that there can be a link and a long-term partnership between a few clubs in the Eredivisie and also Kingston Football Academy as well. Eric, I know you're watching, so thanks for tuning in, man. Exactly point, Simon. Jamaica, 5 No, Jamaica has 6 titles actually. Jamaica won 1991, Jamaica won 1998, Jamaica won 2005, Jamaica won 2008, Jamaica won 2010, Jamaica also won 2014. 6 titles. The 6 is real. The 6 is real. Yeah. Bragging rights. Bragging rights. Wicked man, Chris. Bragging rights. That's what it serves as well. Trinidad and Tobago, who haven't won a title since 2001. That's over 2 decades from now. The last won a title in 2001, and they're still saying, we are the kings of the Caribbean. Yeah, the last time he won a title was 2001, and Jamaica won 4 titles after you. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's the situation. So, bragging rights. Wicked man, burp. Yeah. The gap is tight. Low not getting any minutes at Philly. Give it time, because Jim Curtin had some kind words to say about him based on his performances in training. I'm sure that there will be an opportunity for Lowe to be able to get someone. Hear what Jim Curtin had to say. Damian Lowe has been incredible. He's playing at an incredibly high level. He's going to have a big season for us. Jim Curtin also went on to say, he's a player that in training and our preseason games has been incredible. He knows that Lowe will get his chance, even as he sits behind Jakob Glesnes and Jack Elliott. Yeah. Yeah. Suriname has never won the Caribbean Cup before. Curacao is the first and only Dutch-speaking country to win the Caribbean Cup. French-speaking would be Martinique. Haiti speaks Creole, French, Haitian Creole. Spanish-speaking Cuba. Grenada's been to a final, 2008. St. Vincent and the Grenadines have been far in a competition, but they haven't won it. Nope, they haven't won it. And if you look at the Caribbean Cup history, by extension, Trinidad has won 8, Jamaica has won 6, Cuba 1, Martinique 1, Curacao 1. Grenada, they went to the final in 1989 and 2008. Guadeloupe were in the final in 2010, lost to Jamaica on penalties. St. Kitts and Nevis went to the final in 1997, they lost. St. Vincent and the Grenadines went to the final in 1995, and they lost. St. Lucia came third in 91. French Guiana came third in 2017. Suriname fourth in 94 and 96. Guyana fourth in 91. Cayman fourth in 95. Antigua and Barbuda fourth in 98. Barbados fourth in 2005. The 1995 Caribbean Cup is one that I want us to forget quite quickly, because that was the year that things should have happened. But a shock loss to Cuba meant an early exit, and meant that Jamaica didn't qualify for the 1996 edition of the Gold Cup. But Jamaica bounced back in 1998 and won the Caribbean Cup in 1998. Yep. Simon, know them, no win, but a 4 competitive team. Oh, and I understand you talk about relevance today. I guess that is what you're referring to. Okay. All right. Fully understand that point. Okay. Fully get you. Okay. So, what else is going on now? Well, that's the situation, folks. In relation to the squad to face off against the Trinidad and Tobago team, no update as yet. As I said, guys, I'll keep you guys posted. I'll keep you guys updated. All right? I'll keep you guys updated. I will. Please don't remind me. Please don't remind me, my friend. That was... I don't even want to remember that. Honestly. You're bringing back some bad memories. I think it's 94. 1994, they beat us 3-2. We defeated St. Martin 4-2. Then the British Virgin Islands 12-0. And then Cayman defeated Jamaica 3-2. Cayman defeating Jamaica in football. Not in the amount of turtles and iguanas, but in football. Absolutely unfortunate. But yeah. But yeah, guys, I want to thank you very much to everybody for tuning into this live. I greatly appreciate it. And I will be providing updates for you guys in relation to the matter of Jamaica squad. Just a little patience, and the squad will be revealed. The squad will be revealed. Okay, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Hit the like button. Hit the like button right now. Get the video to 100 likes right now. And don't forget to subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary right now. This video is brought to you by Andy Gone Nuts. 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876-586-0471. That's 876-586-0471. This video is brought to you by Starboys Juices. Infusing fruits with sea moss in Philadelphia and New Jersey. Refreshing and nutritious. Call Starboys at 1-267-904-3454. That's 1-267-904-3454. Hey guys, thank you so much for taking your time out to watch this video in particular. But let me give you an update on a channel called Sport City. Yes, Sport City. It is a channel dedicated to everything related to Jamaican sports. Football, cricket, athletics, netball, rugby league, rugby union, tennis, lacrosse, swimming, you name it, we got it on Sport City. And what is the channel designed to do? It is designed to highlight Jamaican talents across all of those sporting disciplines. If you're a Jamaican and you're playing that sport, then we got you covered on Sport City. So it's quite simple, guys. Hit the subscribe button to Sport City right now.